everyone. Warm welcome to yet another episode of Tech This Week. My name is Apalak. Today, we're going to talk about energy and the role of renewable energy as far as India goes. Right. So, when we talk about India's energy requirements, we know as a developing economy, you know, our need for energy will keep on growing as every year goes by. But we have also seen that there is a growing footprint as far as renewable energy goes. But the discussion for today is, and what I want to focus is, uh, can India afford to completely do away with its dependency on non-renewable energy? So that's what we're going to deep dive today. So I'll just give you some context to this, some data points for you to mull over. So we rank fourth globally for total renewable power capacity addition, and renewable energy tech is one of the thriving areas in India today. In fact, for many of you, I wasn't aware of this. Probably this may come as a surprise that in 2023, India became actually a power surplus country from being a power deficit one. I mean, I'm talking about at least my generation and the ones before me. Remember when we used to have many power cuts? And nowadays, especially in urban metros like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, perhaps Calcutta, we don't see so much of power cuts happening these days. And one of the reasons probably is because of our status being power surplus. In fact, we have started being a net exporter of power, selling electricity to our neighboring countries like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal. So India from 2014 to 2023 has increased its power generating capacity to whooping 70%, right? But so how did India emerge and become this strong powerhouse in the energy sector? So, over the years, largely our energy demand has been dependent on conventional sources like coal or natural gas. But today, due to government's efforts, India is ramping up its infra to harness the power of renewable energy. Now, just to give you some perspective, India's total installed energy capacity is now 442 gigawatts, and a third of it is coming from renewable energy. This is huge, right? So 440, if you round it off, it's close to 450. So one third it's close to 150 of our energy capacity is coming from renewable, which is huge. In fact, it is expected that by 2030, half of our energy requirements are going to be to non-fossil, right? In fact, so much so in 2023, 2023 has had many wins for us. India surpassed Japan as the world's third largest solar power generator, right? So I think it talks a lot in terms of where we are headed. So India has about 120 gigawatts of capacity in rural energy under bids as we speak, or active construction as well, right? So this may give you this impression that we are completely moving away from the non-renewable. But is that so, or is there a reality check that needs to be there, right? So India, the impression that I may have given to you right now is India might soon be ending its dependency on non-renewable energy sources like coal, right? Far from it. And I'll give you some data points again. In fact, contrary to this view, India continues to ramp up its coal production year over year. In fact, India has set a target to increase its coal production to close to 1 billion tons by 2030. In fact, India is the world's second largest coal consumer today, and 55% of our total energy produced still comes from coal. However, let's be mindful, this number was much more earlier. It was 72% back in 2020. Now it's come down to close to about 55%, right? There is a drop in terms of percentage, but please be mindful, I am talking about a percentage dip, not in terms of absolute numbers. As far as absolute numbers go, our coal requirement production has only increased from 2020 to now, right? In fact, if we were to believe some credible sources, right, we are expected to, increase our coal production year on year till about 2040, and after 2040, we probably will expect a plateauing effect, right? Uh, so it is evident that India will continue its reliance on non-renewable energy resources like coal. In fact, several developed economies in the world have also still not been able to completely do away with their dependencies on non-renewable. Countries like US, UK, Japan have, while they have invested, they speak a lot about renewable energy, but the dependency on non-renewable still exists, right? Because there is an extensive amount of infrastructure which has been built around non-renewable, and you just cannot throw away those investments, right? So, and so much so also, if you give a technical perspective, non-renewable energy sources often provide high energy density, which are conducive for industrial processes and manufacturing processes and transportation for that matter, right? So, and also last but not least, this may not be relevant so much for a country like ours because we are solar abundant, but many renewable energy resources such as solar and wind are intermittent. Therefore, they generate electricity only when the sun is shining or the wind is blowing. So yes, so what am I trying to say here? So I think somewhere it is how India approaches this tightrope walk, right? So like I said, India is pushing and ramping up its capacity as far as renewable capabilities go, but it has nowhere said it will cut down its non-renewable dependencies as well. While yes, we admit there is global pressure on countries like India and China to cut down our carbon emissions. In the rarest of rare circumstances, we see eye to eye, at least in this scenario. India and China are on the same page as far as our carbon emissions go, right? In terms of how we look at it. We believe there is more at stake than just choosing between renewable and non-renewable, right? So India considers renewable energy as promising, but views non-renewable energy as a necessity to keep rolling its economic engine, right? In fact, if you think of it, there's a whole ecosystem that revolves around non-renewable production. For example, several blue-collar workers will lose their jobs if coal production is shut down tomorrow. So it can also impact, overall production, manufacturing sectors at large. So yes, renewable energy is the future, but economics, politics doesn't allow us to let go of non-renewable sources. So accepting renewable energy without considering bigger consequences can be disastrous. Environmental protection, no doubt, is a key responsibility. We understand climate change, but we as a country just can't, embrace renewable energy forfeiting non-renewable. We have an economy to take care of, and just because few developed economies are advocating renewable, just does not mean we do away with the reliance on non-renewable, right? And I think it's, to a certain extent, it's unfair ask from developed countries, to draw this comparison because they have been on this path for several years. So yes, the future beacons strongly for renewable, but it's a tightrope walk, like I said, and we are not doing away with non-renewable anytime soon. That's it from my end. Have a great weekend.